Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are LA.
Beautiful night for baseball. They are handing out the beach ads. It's presented by Chronic Tacos, and a good crowd expected tonight. The Angels last night using the long ball of Albert Pujols to help them on to victory, and tonight it is game number 2 against the visiting Houston Astros. From inside the Big A, we welcome you back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas. And I just mentioned Albert Pujols with 2 more home runs. That gives him 543 for his career. Now 5 shy of tying Michael Jack Schmidt. I hate to bum you out, man.
That's okay.
Former Philly.
It's all right.
But you know what? He has just been on a tear in the month of June.
Yeah, Victor, the machine has been rolling. No question about it. Take a look at our AT&T Uverse. Rewind. Some perfect swings. Great balance to the swing for Albert Pujols. Overfelter tried to go upstairs with a fastball. But Albert, so quick with his hands, hits a 2-run home run. Mike Trout was on first. And then his swing right there. The lower part of his body getting through the baseball, getting that baseball out in front of the plate. That's what's making him so successful in this month of June, in which he's hit 12 home runs. So get that bat out in front and crushing mistakes and even good pitches at this point.
All right, last night the Angels had a left-hander on mound, Hector Santiago. Command was an issue for Hector. He still was able to get through 6 innings. CJ on the mound tonight.
CJ's been throwing the ball very well, Victor, the last couple times out, especially his last start out in Arizona, where he just dominated the strike zone. His fastball command was good, but his breaking ball, his slider and curveball combination have been very good. His changeup, he's been able to throw for strikes. 9 punch-outs in 8 innings. He's gave up 1 earned run, no walks in that 8 innings. Last 15 innings total for C.J. Wilson. It's 1 earned run allowed, 3 walks, 17 strikeouts for C.J. Wilson.
Halos picked up a game in the standings last night, trying to pick up another tonight as we're just about ready for baseball. Sit back and relax. Lineups and first pitch when we return. Angels baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. By Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Back out to Angel Stadium, game 2 of this 3-game set against the division-leading Houston Astros. They are still leading the American League West, 3-game lead over the Texas Rangers at the start of the day. And the Angels, with the victory last night, are now 4.5 back of Houston. The Angels sit now 36-35, and that's kind of the way it's been going for the Angels all season long. And as a matter of fact, the month of June, the Angels are just 9-11. So while we see some good progress on the offensive side, most of it has been because of the long ball. It hasn't been the exception here, there, of course, and Friday night, a perfect example in Oakland. That continuation of lineup, the passing of the baton in the lineup, turning it over.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, they've been riding the hot bat, obviously, with Albert Pujols and Mike Trout. You need that continuity in the lineup. They're showing some signs. Eric Ibar is starting to swing the bat much better. And Cole Calhoun looks more relaxed at this position in the lineup as compared to in the 4th or 5th spot in the lineup. So you look for the continuity to get guys on base for Pujols. That's important. That way they can't necessarily pitch around him when you have guys on base.
C.J. Wilson has appeared back in the dugout, and at some point we will have first pitch somewhere here, hopefully in the next 15 minutes or thereabouts. C.J. is always very slow at getting out of the mound, and perhaps just getting emotionally ready by watching another episode of Game of Thrones. Who knows? Maybe that's the case, maybe it's not. But hopefully that the Angels can find some and make some progress here in this homestand. 3 against Houston, 3 against Seattle after an off day on Thursday, and 3 against the New York Yankees. Then they go out on the road. It's the last road trip, the last stretch of games before the All-Star break. 3 weeks from today, they will meet in Cincinnati, the American League versus National League, and this time, Kubi,
it counts.
It
it's still amazing the All-Star break is that close. The All-Star game.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yep.
Let's check out A.J. Hinch's starting lineup for the Houston Astros at 41-31. They will have George Springer lead things off and playing center field. Carlos Correa at shortstop. Jose Altuve at second. Evan Gattis at DH and cleanup hitter. Colby Rasmussen left field. Chris Carter at first. Domingo Santana, who homered yesterday, is back in right field, I should say. Luis Valbuena, he's the team leader in home runs, but he's hitting under 200. He will bat 8th and play third base. And former Angel Hank Conger batting 9th and doing the catching. As we mentioned, they will take on the aforementioned C.J. Wilson. He's making his 15th start of the season.
And the keys for C.J., and he's throwing the ball. We just talked about him in the opening as far as the last couple of starts. ERA 3.39 on the season. But when he's successful in his wins, he's throwing his curveball and his slider for strikes. 62%, 63% as far as his curveball and slider for strikes. And when he loses a game, he doesn't have command of his curveball or his slider. Reason why I bring this up, because this Astro club loves to hit the fastball. They can hit that fastball a long, long way as far as home runs. 104 home runs as a team, but CJ throws those for strikes, his curve and slider, along with his changeup. He should be successful tonight.
Check out the Angels defensively behind C.J. Wilson. Efren Navarro left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun at right. The infield has David Freese and Eric Ibar on the left side. Johnny Giavatello and Albert Pujols on the right, and it's Carlos Perez behind the plate.
And then C.J. Wilson on the mound, very active as far as fielding his position, has 1 error this year. He's had 20 fielding chances. Another reason why he's important as far as fielding his position, to slow down the Astro running game. Been very good as far as that this year. He's only allowed 3 stolen bases in 7 attempts, 2 pickoffs. This going back to 2011. C.J. Wilson allowed 24 stolen bases in 31 attempts, so he has improved that part of his game very well.
George Springer ready to lead things off for the Astros. The only difference in their lineup tonight is the 8 and 9 spots. The Astros managed just 5 hits yesterday in the 4-3 win for the Angels. Houston Street picked up the win. He is now 3-2. Springer hitting .279, 12 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Cuts that first one. A big rip, too. And it is an 0-1 count. Springer went hitless last night, 0 for 4. Snapped his 14-game hitting streak.
Springer 2 for 5 in his career versus C.J. Those 2 hits, home runs.
Count even up at 1 ball, 1 strike. As we mentioned last night, Houston has hit better out on the road compared to their home ballpark. .245 average compared to .234. 2 balls and a strike. They're slightly better against left-handed pitching. A couple of points. See A.J. Hinch, first season as the manager. Former big league catcher, Stanford product.
You see CJ making that motion. He dropped his elbow. He's going to walk behind the mound to make that adjustment in his mechanics. His elbow dropped, and that elevated the fastball.
And Springer lines one out the left field. Navarro moving over. He will make the catch. Little sinking liner. And because Effer got a good jump on it, is able to make the grab for the first out.
Quick conversation with Mike Trout. He's really adjusted well as an outfielder. We've seen him make some outstanding plays at first base, his natural position. To track that one down well, it's a difficult play because the top hand swing on that bat from Springer. It was all about that first quick step he had to make the play.
There's Carlos Correa, the shortstop. 0 for 3 last night with a walk. Saw a lot of pitches too. We saw his plate coverage last night. Spoiling a lot of pitches against Hector Santiago in his first 2 at-bats. He gets jammed here, and that'll be a single to left.
See how quick his hands are. That was a cut fastball in on his hands. He's still strong enough. And that young as a player that he is, still strong enough to be able to get that ball into the outfield. Cutter in. It's very belt high, but got his hands inside the baseball and got enough of the bat on the good part of the bat to be able to fight that off and get a single in the left field. What a job he did tucking his hands in to be able to get the barrel out and get a base hit.
So it's Jose Altuve at the plate with 1 on and 1 out. First one's a strike on the outside corner. James Hoy calling the balls and strikes tonight. John Hirschbeck at first, Bill Welke at second, Jonathan Payne over third. Altuve a 1 for 4 game, had the RBI double in the 8th inning. That tied things up. This one's yanked foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Double for Altuve, his 12th of the year. Dealing with a little sore hamstring. Back in the lineup yesterday for the first time in 5 games.
Altuve 9 for 29 against CJ. It's a .310 batting average.
TJ with 1 start against Houston this year, and that was back on April 18th at Minute Maid. Ended up taking the loss. Allowed just 2 runs on 3 hits and 6 2/3. 8 strikeouts, 4 walks. That's not a season high in walks. That is 5 in a win here against Detroit. Breaking ball gets away from Perez, and Correa will advance. Wild pitch.
It's his 10th wild pitch this year for CJ. Bounce that breaking ball in the dirt, but we talk about those instincts for Correa. He's so smart for a young player. Read that ball in the dirt, knew it would be a difficult play for Perez to get to that baseball, make the throw to second, easily gets into scoring position.
So the Astros with a man in scoring position here in the first. Last night they were 2 for 3 in those situations. This one's pulled foul. The count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Full slate of games throughout Major League Baseball tonight. Yesterday, just 7 games. Texas was idle. That's why they picked up a half game in the standings. Texas trailing Oakland tonight, 6-5. And that game's in the 7th. Seattle hosting Kansas City just underway up at Safeco. That's a balk by C.J. Wilson. Correa will advance to third. Correa jockeying over at the second base, distracted Wilson.
And he's starting to go, pretending he's going to go. And then he moved his body, moved the hands. before he spun around to make the throw to second base. So a balk for CJ's first of the year.
Altuve strikes out swinging on a breaking ball in the dirt, angry with himself. It's the second out of the inning.
Like we talked about as far as keys for CJ's ability with that curveball to throw and get a swing and miss. The percentages for strikes on that pitch. Good downward action, swing and miss in the dirt. Perfect location. You're going to have an aggressive hitter at the plate looking for the RBI. And CJ Wilson exploited that by bouncing that breaking ball in the dirt.
So 2 outs and a man at third. Evan Gattis a DH up. Gattis hitless last night. Swings and misses on the off-speed pitch. Loves to hit the fastball, as many of these Astros do.
Especially looking fastball first pitch. Good slider first pitch from CJ.
And that is yanked to left. That'll get down and go for extra bases. Correa will come in to score. And Gattis will stop at second as the ball gets away from Navarro, and it's 1-0 Houston as CJ tried to sneak a fastball.
Well, against Gattis, you have to make a perfect pitch with a fastball for him not to get that barrel of the bat out as quick as he did. And that pitch is right on the inside corner. You would think, okay, that's a good pitch, but not a fastball against him in that spot. And he hooks it right down the line. His 11th double, 42nd RBI. Fastball down and away. Solid pitch against him.
Here's Rasmus, pushes a bunt on the third base side with the shift on, and that's an infield base hit. Third hit of the inning, and now runners at the corners with 2 down, and Chris Carter coming up.
You're looking at home, think, okay, there's a man in scoring position, and Rasmus has good power. Why is he doing this? Well, he's going to try to beat the shift with a bunt. He's just 2 for 12 in his career versus CJ, so that's a wise decision. And you bring up Chris Carter, who has excellent numbers against CJ Wilson. So well done by Rasmus there with a perfect bunt down the third base line, beating the shift.
Carter takes low. First baseman last night 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Hitting .201, 12 home runs and 35 runs batted in. It's a Houston team that has homered in 9 straight games. They lead the league in home runs with 104. And the dirt stays out in front of the plate. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. One nothing Houston here in the first inning. Carter, the 6th man to bat against CJ. Gattis at third, Rasmus at first. Carter skies one out to right. Mike Trout still moving back on it and will make the catch just as he steps onto the track. Boy, it's some serious carry to him.
Strong man,
no doubt. Houston strikes for a run. We'll head to the bottom of the first. 1-0 Astros. 35, 4.5 back of the Astros. Johnny Giavotella back in that leadoff spot. Cole Calhoun in right, Mike Trout at center. Albert Pujols at first base. David Freese at third. The shortstops there are Guybar, Matt Joyce at DH tonight. Carlos Perez behind the plate. We already talked about Efren Navarro getting a start out in left field. He will bat ninth as they take on the 28-year-old Georgia native, who's having a little bit of a rough season with Houston this year. It's Colin McHugh.
Yeah, the win-loss record is solid at 7-3, but ERA over 5. He's my go-tos against McHugh. Right-handed power. He's had a tough time against right-handed batters. Batting average of 306 against them with 8 home runs and belt-high mistakes. He's made a lot of mistakes with his fastball, cut fastball upstairs, along with his slider. Hasn't been able to get down and away.
Johnny Giavotella ready to lead things off, hitting .270 with 3 home runs and 25 runs batted in. And the first fastball is in for a strike. Giavotella last night 0 for 5. Fouled off, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Colin McHugh with a 7-3 record. As that one's foul tipped into the mitt for the first out here in the first. Astros defensively have Rasmus Springer and Santana from left to right. Valbuena, Correa, Altuve, and Carter in the infield from third to first. Conger behind the plate.
And Altuve, we talk about him so much on the offensive side. He's very solid defensively. He's leading the American League as far as fielding percentage as a second baseman with .997 fielding percentage. But the important thing is 42 double plays turned by Altuve at second base.
Cole shoots one out to left center for a base hit. Good piece of hitting. Just taking what's given to him. And he's on board for Trout.
Now 6 for 16 versus McHugh. A thigh high with a fastball, went the other way, didn't try to pull it. They had to shift on in the infield, just went with the pitch. A good swing by Cole.
Trout a tough night last night, 0 for 3 with 3 punch outs. Did draw a walk, and that allowed Pujols to bat in the 5th inning. The first of his 2 home runs for Albert. Right after that walk to Trout. Trout was out early BP on June 23rd. Working on the pitching machine was out there. They had it set up for sliders. McHugh, a guy that likes to throw a lot of breaking balls. That one's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mentioned he had a good season last year. 11-9, 25 starts, 2.73 ERA. Racked up some strikeouts. But those numbers are down this year. As a matter of fact, right-handers have been really swinging the bats well against Colin McHugh this season. Tune of a 306 batting average compared to 255. Last year he held righties to a 248 average.
He doesn't throw many fastballs, and percentage-wise, 34%. So a lot of sliders. He'll cut his fastball, curveball, and changeups.
2 balls and strike, which is interesting. You bring up the fastball percentage because it's down considerably, 7 to 8% from last year, that he would go to that many breaking balls, whether it's sliders or curveballs. I know sometimes you can take that. There's a plus minus as far as the differential there because of cut fastballs being called something else. But still, that's a big drop for him. This one's pulled down the line. That's a fair ball past Valbuena. Calhoun on his way to third. Rasmus bobbles a baseball. Cole is going to be stopped still at third base, and Trout ends up at second. I think Cole was thinking about scoring once he saw Rasmus bobble that ball.
17th double this season. The Trout had extra work. Early BP, working on the machine, right down the line. Valbuena, who we've seen make some unbelievable plays this year against the Angels just by his glove, and a double, 2 on in scoring position for Albert Pujols. Might be walking him here in the first inning.
That would not surprise me. And there it is. And considering the way he's been swinging the bat, it makes sense with 1 out here and have a double play in order. Trout, by the way, picks up his 17th double.
Pujols with 48 career home runs during the regular season against the Astros.
This will be the 5th intentional walk. And there it is.
A Hyundai key to this game today. Oh, the Ramones, the crusher. I don't blame A.J. Hinch for walking. Even in the first inning, it's surprising that they would walk him to set up a potential big inning go against a pitcher right now who has struggled with an ERA over 5. More base runners on, better opportunity for the Angels to score here in the first.
Braves at 232. It's a breaking ball in the dirt. 10 home runs, 34 RBIs. David last night went 0 for 4, 3 comebackers to the mound and a strikeout. Upstairs.
Well, Victor, I had a long conversation with Mike Soch in the dugout about this exact scenario because Albert's so hot at this point. Do you think that you're going to start walking him? Similar to what we saw with Trout early on. He goes, the key is having guys on base in front of Albert. Because when you do walk him here, you put 3 runners on here right away with an opportunity for a huge inning going against the opponent.
Ground ball to short. Correa feeds Altuve, and the relay back in time, inning-ending double play. So it works out for the Astros. The Angels leave 2 men off. We'll head to the second. Angels down 1-0.
News from around the majors on the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. Major pitcher back on the hill tonight for the Nationals, and another mammoth home run for a Miami Marlin.
Boy, I wonder who that could be. D. Gordon.
D. Gordon, inside the park home run. Oh, you spoiled it.
Oh,
Spoiler alert.
My bad. 7-8-9 for the Astros here in the second.
The most exciting play in baseball, the inside the park grand slam.
You said another big one, so I figured it had to be D. Bouncer back toward the mound. CJ off. Gets it, fires to first. One down. Santana retired for the first out here in the second.
CJ's been very active fielding his position this season, working hard in between starts, watching up in Oakland, as a matter of fact. Gary DiSarcina hitting a lot of ground balls to C.J. Wilson after his bullpen session just the other day.
Luis Valbuena hitting 186, but he's the team leader in home runs with 17. 32 runs batted in, 262 on base percentage. He's the third baseman.
13 of those 17 have been at home.
And a lot of those, I would imagine, over to left field where the Crawford boxes are at.
Now, we've seen that by him.
Apparently he's got a pretty good bat flip too.
Yeah, we don't need to see that though.
No.
Highlights maybe of a next series maybe.
But if you're going to bat flip, shouldn't you at least, like, the average has got to be
over 200?
Over Mendoza line? Yeah. He punches this one to left side. Freeze, knocks it down. Not going to get Valbuena. And he throws it away. Unfortunately, it stays on the field of play. So Valbuena with an infield base hit. Hey fans, on Friday the Angels Baseball Foundation will be accepting new toys for the underprivileged youth of Orange County at the home plate gate. For each donation, fans will receive a ticket voucher to a future game. For more info, just log on at angels.com/community. So an infield knock for Luis Valbuena. Fourth hit allowed to get by CJ. And here's Hank Conger,
who caught CJ Wilson most of his starts last couple of seasons when he was wearing that Angel uniform.
Hank on the year hitting 208, 4 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Just a 156 average from the right side of the plate. Jason Castro was behind the plate last night. I imagine Castro gets a start tomorrow afternoon. This is a base hit to right. So first and second with one out. And the top of the order, and Springer coming up. Springer lined down to Navarro. His first at bat. 0 for 1.
Well, even though it's early in the game, it's an important batter and inning for CJ. A couple flares through, an infield hit, and then a little flare in the outfield. Now you're dealing with the very difficult part of the order for the Astros. A very solid hitter right here in Springer.
Hit on the hands and foul back. That 14-game hitting streak that got snapped last night. Longest for an Astro since Altuve. Had a 14-game streak. Late August of last year to early September. Oh, 2. '28th game batting in the leadoff spot, and that spot has agreed with him as far as the numbers are concerned. He has Valbuena standing at second and Conger at first, 1 out.
Chance to maybe jam Springer here. CJ since 2010 has gotten hitters to the ground into 122 double plays. It's tied with Rick Porcello as far as the tops in baseball.
Trout shallow and toward the alley in right center field. Cole back a couple of steps in right. And he struck him out for the second out.
Good hard slider for CJ to get a swing and miss. going to strike out on a curveball against Altuve, and then a slider there against Springer.
The Astros lead baseball in strikeouts. That was the 673rd. Cubs are second. So with the long ball, they will punch out. Correa takes slow. He had a base hit and a run scored in the first inning. That's why when you talk about the Astros and the home run ball and the punch outs, the on base percentage is low at 307, yet their slugging is up, as is their run production. They're fourth in the American League.
For a young hitter, Correa has great patience at the plate. We talked about that last time, how many pitches he saw during the course of his at-bats.
Just 20 years of age, will not turn 21 until September. Native of Ponce, Puerto Rico. 2-0. Big rip at that one. Good crowd here tonight. The beach hats being given away, courtesy of Chronic Tacos. Three balls and a strike. Now Altuve on deck. That ball missed off the plate.
Usually when CJ walks back off the mound, he felt that he hit his spot. According to our Fox tracks, just off the inside corner by about a baseball.
Yeah, so in essence, he's not really wrong. He did hit his spot. Just unfortunately doesn't get the call.
Exactly.
Foul back. Full count. That's got to be frustrating for a pitcher, although I guess at some point, we talked about a little bit with Garrett Richards in that start Sunday in Oakland, where he wasn't getting the bottom part of the strike. So he was erratic wide of the zone, but on the south side of the zone wasn't getting the call. And you could tell his frustration a little bit. Sometimes you got to flip that switch. I know it's easier said than done.
Especially when your best pitches are generally going to be in the lower part of the strike zone and you're not getting those calls. It's difficult.
All right. And for CJ tonight, you want the inside part of the plate against a right-handed bat.
Yeah, because when you're throwing a fastball, you want to be inside corner or just slightly off the inside corner to keep them from getting their arms extended. Then it sets up your curveball and slider.
3-2, the runners go, and Correa rips one out to deep left field. That is long gone. A three-run blast by Carlos Correa, and it's 4-0 Astros.
That is a long, long way. He is extremely strong.
Fourth home run, and now at 10 runs batted in.
I haven't seen many baseballs go over into that spot in the left field. That's a slider, a hanging slider. Generally, that's the pitch that gets hit the furthest is a hanging slider. Inner half of the plate. Talk about getting the barrel of the bat and the leverage through the baseball, how strong he is. Look how far this baseball went.
Altuve hits one off of Freeze, goes to Ibar, fires to first, and they got him. It'll end the inning, but not before Carlos Correa extends the Astros lead with a three-run blast. We'll head to the bottom of the second, 4-0 Houston.
Because of that man right there, Carlos Correa. You talk about squaring up a baseball. This baseball went a ton. Hit speed off the bat, 107 miles an hour off the bat of the youngster, 20-year-old phenom shortstop for the Astros.
Yeah, you usually don't think much of home runs that kind of hug the line, but you got to remember, just to the right of the foul pole, it's 347 to the wall in this ballpark. And that one passed that open area down there into the seats.
And we walk that way every time coming in from the trucks coming into the stadium during batting practice.
Chopper left side. Valbuena comes in front of Correa, and there's the first out.
Speaking of good hitters, on this date back in 1971, Rick Wise, Phillies pitcher, threw a no-hitter, but also hit 2 home runs in the game at Cincinnati. In 188 wins in his career, 15 career home runs. Also won a game in the World Series in Game 6, and the man who made the last out of that game, Pete Rose, line drive to Vukovich at third base.
Wow. Matt Joyce steps in. He's the DH tonight. Hitting 186, 4 home runs, and 18 runs batted in.
Just watch some highlights of that game for Rick Wise. He did it back in 1971 on this date. Those uniforms, those big numbers, number 38, the old Philadelphia Philly pinstripes, with that huge number in the back. That's a pretty good game. 2 home runs and throw a no-hitter.
They weren't
First time ever.
They weren't wearing the baby blues in 71? No?
No, not quite. At least not that game. That's pretty much as good as it gets if you're a pitcher.
Yeah. 2-1, and that's pulled, and backhanded by Carter on the short hop. He'll take it himself. 2 outs. Well, what you hate to see is Colin McHugh gain confidence after that first inning and all of a sudden start shutting down the Angels offense. Pujols intentionally walked to load the bases with 1 out. And then on a 2-0 count, David Freese went chasing a slider and grounded into a double play.
Now, how often we talk about that change in momentum? You have an opportunity to be able to score some runs, get back and tie it, or take the lead. And he gets a double play ball, and then they follow up the next inning with a 3-run home run.
Carlos Perez looks at a strike, former Astro. 255 with a couple of home runs and 12 runs batted in. Came over with Nick Tropiano in exchange for Hank Conger in the offseason trade. Ground ball back up the middle. Altuve was shading him that way. And McHugh with a 1-2-3 shutdown inning. 2 of the books, 4-0 Astros.
brought to you by Ram Trucks. Daniel Robertson with an opportunity to put down a safety squeeze. Perfect technique. He's playing catch with the bat. And the important thing about this bunt, when you have a safety squeeze, you want to force the first baseman to field this baseball. If the pitcher does, you're going to have a play at the plate, but the first baseman, Chris Carter, fields it, throws it away. Eric Ibar scores. Perfect job by Daniel Robertson getting that bunt down and driving in the winning run.
Astros up 4-0 here in the third. Gaddis, Rasmus, and Carter against C.J. Wilson, who's allowed 6 hits. Gaddis fouls this one off. Gaddis with a double in his first inning at bat that brought in the first run. 11th double, picks up his 42nd run batted in. Chopper toward the middle, Ibar to his left. Spins around, fires to first, and safe at first base. Nifty play by Eric Ibar just to get to it and make an accurate throw.
He got a lot on that throw, considering he jump and spin move and throw over the first base. CJ looks like he's looking in the dugout to see if Mike Scioscia would check it. And I think there's a chance they can look at it.
Yeah.
And call him out. Yeah, Mike Scioscia's going to get a check now. I think it's worth the gamble here. So you don't want another base runner. You've had enough in the early part of the game. See if Gaddis gets the foot on the base. That looked like that ball is secured by Pujols, and then the foot. Gaddis at first base. I think there's a good chance it's going to be overturned.
John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, is at first base. And Bill Welke, the second base umpire. Both on headset now.
Good stretch again by Albert. Secured the baseball before the foot. Looked like the foot before the foot hit the base, although the heel.
I think the other angle that we had from behind the Astros dugout, you could really see the ball. This one here hit the webbing and before the foot.
Yeah, I think he's out.
Well, that's what we think. We'll wait and see. So we're waiting to hear back. Looks like the headsets are coming off. And out at first.
What a play by Eric Ibar. The low throw and scoop. See the baseball secured, and then the foot. Touching the base by Gaddis. Look at the range, though, for Eric. Spins around, throws a perfect throw to first base. Had a lot on that, too. Considering he doesn't get a chance to be able to plant his foot. You can throw that across the infield. What a play by Ibar.
Here's Rasmus. Butted his way on. First time, so he's 1 for 1. Rasmus came in batting .249. 10 home runs and 25 runs batted in. Center fielder by trade, but playing left field with Houston. Seen some right field as well. Earlier this year, Jake Marisnick was in center field with Springer in right, Rasmussen left. 3-0. Marisnick since has gone on the DL.
Marisnick is a very special defender out in center field, but when you look at Springer, the way he plays that position too, you can see him being their future center fielder, George Springer. The green light 3-0 pitch.
Back inside. Full count. Carter on deck. 3-2, and this was lifted foul and had its way into the seats behind the Angels dugout.
A number of fastballs that are elevated in the strike zone. Well, if you were comfortable with your slider right now for CJ against Rasmus, you should be able to get a swing and miss with down and away, close enough to plate to make him swing at it.
And that is skied towards center field. Trout racing back. There's a beat on it. Makes the catch. 2 outs.
Even another fastball there, and that's a product of a good swing on a fastball because he was looking for that pitch once again.
First time that CJ's retired. First 2 batters to start an inning. Here's Carter lifting one out to right center field and tracked down by Trout in the first.
They are extremely aggressive, especially when you throw a first pitch fastball.
Oh, 1. I would down it in. Good location.
Good cut fastball from C.J. Wilson.
Astros with a run in the first, 3 in the second. They'll take that 4-0 lead. 1-2.
That ball hit his foot.
Oh. They didn't move much, did he?
A hard slider gets him in the foot. The 6th batter that C.J. Wilson has hit this year. And right off the top of the foot. When a hitter, you're down 0-2 in a count. We'll take that.
Man on with 2 outs, and here's Domingo Santana. 24-year-old right fielder. Had a comebacker to the mound in the second inning. Now 3 for 12. Pardon me, 3 for 13 this year at the big league level with Houston. And that is out to right. Cole right there to put it away for the 3rd out. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Navarro, Giavatella, and Calhoun coming up for the Angels, down 4-0.
Have to be like Jingle Bells or something. Yeah, nothing crazy.
Classic.
Yeah, classic for sure.
Fans come celebrate Christmas in June when the Angels take on the Mariners on Friday at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive an Angels ornament courtesy of Singevity. Get your tickets today at the Angels Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com.
He's listening.
Yeah, Christmas in June.
Yes.
Who knew?
On Friday.
Can't
Looking
wait.
forward to it.
Yeah.
Kind of partial to White Christmas by Bing Crosby, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great song. I think Nat King Cole does a pretty good version of that song, too.
And there's a great version of the Christmas song, too.
I say we keep that music going throughout the inning.
Yeah.
Is that possible? Or do we just have that 7-second loop?
Now we put it on. We better put it on now. With a hit like that.
Yeah.
Keep it rolling.
Third hit allowed by Colin McHugh. Leadoff man is on board for the Angels. And here comes Johnny Giavotella.
It's a great swing here by Efren. Trying to go inside with a fastball. And that fastball ran out over the plate and went with the pitch hard the other way. Especially when you have that not sink action, but lateral action. Runs out to the barrel of the bat. Navarro did a nice job of keeping his hands back and punched that ball in the left field.
Oh, what count on Giavotella, strikeout victim in the first. The only punch out for McHugh is one walk. It was an intentional one to Pujols to load the bases in the first.
With McHugh, though, he does make quite a few mistakes around belt high, thigh high, out over the plate. But you have to stay back with your swing, use the entire field, think up the middle on that pitch, especially slider or cut fastball up and away.
A ball and 2 strikes. Cole Calhoun on deck. 4-0 Houston here in the third. Foul back.
You would think Giavotella would have some pretty good swings against McHugh, especially with some elevated fastballs. He was on that one. Upper part of the strike zone at 92. Fouled straight back. Now, Johnny Giavotella has a tough time on that breaking ball in the dirt going away for a right-handed pitcher against him. With elevated fastballs, he's on it.
One down.
Now it's time for a T-Mobile game changer with Cole Calhoun coming to the plate. 226 batting average against a pitcher we've seen him for the first time in a game with 30 hits. Second time through, though. 371 batting average for Cole. 23 for 62. Especially when you think about he got a base hit his first at bat. So second at bat here from the square one up, maybe get some serious distance on this swing from Cole.
No balls and a strike. Cole will walk that one off, or at least attempt to do so.
Like it was a cut fastball in on him. A lot of times you hear a pitcher throwing a cut fastball and a slider. There's really not a lot of difference between those two pitches. Just a slight difference in the break.
Correa shading Cole up the middle. So pulled infield. Balbuena stays at home at third.
inside. One ball, one strike. Strikeout rate for Colin McHugh has been down this year compared to last year. Good off-speed pitch there, one of the few we've seen tonight. One ball, two strikes. Came in with an ERA of just over 5.04. Originally in the Met system. 18th round pick in 2008 out of Berry College, Georgia. Traded to the Rockies in exchange for Eric Young Jr. was a waiver claim prior to 2014 from the Rockies.
When he drops his elbow on his fastball, there's that lateral movement upstairs. That's where I think he gets hit the most, on that fastball with that type of movement instead of sink action.
Navarro over at first base, and that is sky to right center field. George Springer moving back on it. Will track it down just shy of the track. Two down. Cole just got underneath that one. Towering fly ball. Just second out of the inning and travel back with a man on.
There's a change up, heart of the plate. Cole off the bat thought he might have gotten that ball. And again, on a changeup, you got to generate all that power yourself, but just underneath the baseball enough to keep it in the yard.
Job with a double into the left field corner of the first inning. 1 for 1. Figure the way that Pujols been swinging the bat with Albert on deck that Mike should get something to hit. Although they could pitch around Trout then walk Pujols to load him up again to face David Freese. Now they're saying that's what they're going to do.
Trout looks locked in right here against McHugh though. Got to double his first at bat. Even track that curveball off the plate well.
Front door breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You have to have a lot of confidence in that pitch, because if that ends up out over the plate at all, that's going a long, long way.
Kind of a tentative swing there for Trout, huh?
Yeah, he's trying to lay off that high fastball, and that's exactly what the pitch was.
Called strike 3. That one looked like it was in off the plate, but James Hoare rings it up. The Angels with that leadoff single, stranded at first, still down 4-0.
Obviously, not trying to do too much. You know, when I try to do too much, you know, I get in trouble big time. And you know, trying to lay off that high pitch, it's always been what people were saying. You know, that I needed to cut down on the strikeouts. But other than that, you know, just trying to improve my game and try to help this team win.
Yeah, you can almost see by that swing from Trout, he wasn't quite committed to trying to swing at that high fastball.
That ball is out to deep right center field. Luis Valbuena, the team leader in home runs, extends it. That's his 18th of the year, makes it 5-0 Houston. Second home run allowed by C.J. Wilson in this game.
It's only the third home run that C.J. has allowed to a left-handed batter. And that baseball didn't take long to get out. Fastball. Middle away. Valbuena. It was Yard. He's been swinging the bat very well this year when he makes contact.
Been an all or nothing type of season for Valbuena. He got all of that one. 5-0 Houston in the fourth. Conger on the base hit the right field in the second. 1-for-1. 7 hits allowed by CJ. Foul back, and that got the leg of Carlos Perez.
Another multi-home run game for the Astros. They've been a machine as far as that. That's not just one home run. It broke a streak.
Yeah, had multi-homer game and 8 straight. And then last night you said got snaps. That's 9 though, even though they homered 9. This is the 10th consecutive game with a home run. Conger goes down swinging on the on-speed pitch, 1 away. Third strikeout for CJ. Back to the top of the order now with George Springer coming up.
Good breaking ball from CJ. Down and in. A swing and miss. All 3 of his strikeouts have been on breaking pitches, whether it's his curveball or slider.
Springer with a fly ball to left and a strikeout is 0 for 2. Still hitless in this series. 0 for 6. Correa with a couple of hits. Valbuena with a couple of hits. That one's
good change out from CJ.
Good location too.
Hasn't thrown a ton of them yet.
A 2-1 count. Springer, Correa on deck. Now 3-1. He lays off. That's a pitch against Springer for the strikeout in the second. Draws the walk here. And Correa will bow with a man on.
Now it's time for our top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. There's Correa. How quick his hands are. Get his hands inside and got the barrel of the bat out. A 3-run home run way out. His 4th home run of the season. A special young player.
Two hits tonight. A couple of runs scored. Wilson at 64 pitches, and the Angels have some action in the pen. 1 ball, no strikes. Cambadrosian first man up. Surprised to see Bedrosian up here this early.
Not the way McHugh's throwing the baseball right now, and the way they're swinging, especially against C.J. Wilson at lefty. Try to turn it around, throw a right-hander power arm against him.
And that is pulled to left. Another hit. 3-hit game for Correa. Springer with great speed headed to third base. That allows Correa to go to second.
And with that throw into third base, it'll allow Correa to get to second. That's what those great instincts. We can always talk about five-tool players, but also when you think about instincts, great instinct there by Correa to be able to get in the scoring position himself. Hits that ball right down the left field line, and then he picks up that George Springer's going to third, hesitates, and then cruises into second base himself. Now 2 runners in scoring position, forcing the infield in. It's outstanding baseball instincts for the youngster.
They're giving Correa a double on that. So he's now a triple shy of the cycle. Intentionally walking Altuve here. So a single, a home run, and a double for Correa. Altuve will load him up for Evan Gattis. CJ not fooling many guys tonight. Has taken care of Altuve in the first 2 at-bats, a strikeout and a ground out. There's ball 4. That might be it for Wilson. Here comes Mike Scioscia. Like I said, he's not fooling many, so Scioscia with a short leash, already down 5-0. And C.J. Wilson's going to get yanked from this game. So Cam Bedrosian coming on in relief here. We're in the 4th inning and a pitching change already. Bases loaded for the Houston Astros for Evan Gattis. The youngster Cam Bedrosian coming in. Responsible for all 3 guys on base. It's our in and out, who's in, who's out. Wilson done. Cam Bedrosian on in relief.
He's looking to get a ground ball, double play, or try to get a punch out. Certainly has the ability to do so. Especially with the power fastball, 93-96. Good over the hand curveball. Trying to keep the Angels in the game at this point.
Shortest outing of the season for Wilson. Shortest since a September 22nd outing at Oakland when he lasted just 2/3 of an inning against the Oakland A's. Springer at third, Correa at second, and Altuve at first base. Bedrosian, good fastball. Evan Gattis, a good fastball hitter. Cam, no record of 3.86 ERA, pitching in his 15th game. Gattis is 1 for 2. An RBI double in the first. Middle infield playing back for the double play. First fastball up and away. This one's out to right. Cole racing over and will make the running catch. Springer will come in to score, and that makes it 6-0 as the throw goes to second. Correa advancing to third base.
Nice play by Cole. He had to go a long way to make that play. Sac fly by Gaddis.
Second RBI of the night, 43 on the season. And now Rasmus will bat with runners at the corners. Rasmus 1 for 2, a bunt base hit in the first. Cam last pitched on Saturday, threw 10 pitches in that outing. It's against Oakland. 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits, no runs. One ball, 2 strikes. Halos in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pujols frees an Ibar coming up. Trying to figure out Colin McHugh. Had an opportunity in the first inning with a base loaded, 1 out before Freeze grounded into a double play to end the inning. Off the glove of Perez. This will go to the backstop, and that'll make it 7-0. Altuve ends up at second base.
High fastball.
Wild pitch.
Overthrown fastball at 95.
Count remains even at 2-2. Called strike 3. Down goes Rasmus. The inning comes to an end. 3 runs on the board tacked on by the Astros. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. They lead at 7-0.
The fourth inning, I'm Alex Curry, and earlier today I had a chance to catch up with Mike Trout, who knows a little bit about the pressures of being a top prospect, just like Carlos Correa.
You know, there's definitely pressure, but you know, I've seen it. You know, I've watched him play. You know, the last couple of weeks. It's he's fun to watch. You know, last night he you know, didn't get any hits, but his at-bats were unbelievable. You know, professional at-bats.
And as we've seen tonight, Carlos, a triple shy of a cycle. He is not wasting any time proving himself in the bigs, Victor.
He is a fine talent, just like the Angels were excited when Trout got to the big leagues. Astros fans and even just regular Major League Baseball fans excited to see the influx of young talent at the Major League level this year. As Albert looks at a breaking ball for his strike, Pujols free as an eye-bar here in the fourth against Colin McHugh. Albert with an intentional walk in the first.
And this young talent that is coming up in baseball right now, put in these situations with especially all the hype, and then come up here and succeeding like they have. It's amazing.
McHugh with 3 strikeouts and that 1 intentional walk. He's allowed 3 hits. This one's off the end of the bat, fouled back.
And now it's time for In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. Speaking of Albert, how hot he has been. Last 24 games, 15 home runs. That's the most home runs he's ever had in 24 game span during his amazing Hall of Fame career.
This one's flared out to left center field. That'll get down for a base hit.
It'll look like a rocket. That's how strong he is. And that fastball is up and in, or a cut fastball, I should say, up and in. Almost at the handle of the bat, and still strong enough to get that into the outfield for a base hit.
McHugh kind of gave him a look back as he was running to first base.
It's like, how did you get that ball into the outfield?
Exactly.
Most hitters, that's a jam shot that barely gets to the shortstop.
Wanted to peel, and Freese did not go around. Go for 1 with the double play ball in the first. That is line to right. Santana is there. 1 out. Albert back to first base, and we bring up Ibar. Ibar 0 for 1. Grounded out to Correa, leading off the second inning. All 7 runs on the board for Houston earned against Wilson. This one's ruled foul. So Cena knocking it down. Oh, what count? 7-0 Houston. 1 in the first, 3 in the second, and 3 in the fourth. Correa triple shy of the cycle. This one pulled the right, a base hit. Albert will move to second and stop there. So 2 on with 1 out. And Matt Joyce will get an opportunity. And by the way, Correa should complete the cycle. He would become the youngest player in the American League, surpassing Mike Trout, who did it here against the Seattle Mariners and needing a home run to do it. His last at bat, got it out the right center field.
Crushed that baseball. I remember that well.
A pitch down and in.
That's how strong he is.
Was it off Charlie Furbush? I know it was a lefty. Joyce looks at a breaking ball.
Remember, it was a pretty good pitch.
Yeah, it was.
Opportunity right now with one swing of the bat by Matt Joyce. You're all of a sudden back in the game, especially for a pitcher that has struggled, especially with runs allowed in the area coming in the game over 5.
Youngest player ever to hit for a cycle, Melot of the Giants, back at 29. One ball, 2 strikes.
McHugh with good career numbers against him, just 2-2 with an ERA 2.03. Has a lot of run support. Even more confidence, the challenge hitters.
Joyce goes down swinging for the second out. 4th strikeout for McHugh. Challenging with a high fastball. Matt Joyce's struggles continue. And it'll bring up Carlos Perez. Perez cues it foul. Back up the middle, off the glove of McHugh. He redirects it, so Perez will get credited with an infield base hit, and they're loaded up for the second time in the game for the Angels.
And that's one of those plays as a pitcher, you look behind you to see where your infielders are set up to know what baseball to go after or not. Especially in a baseball like this, there's a pretty good chance either one of their middle infielders, either Correa or Altuve, are going to make that play on that ground ball up the middle, not hit hard. But threw his glove up and deflected it. Now you have a chance for a potential big inning. Always a big believer as a pitcher. You look back exactly where your middle infielders are set up. They're playing more in the hole. Well, then you have to have that coverage up the middle. If they're bunched up the middle, then you let that baseball go.
After Navarro with a base at the left field, leading off the third is 1 for 1. First one in there for a strike.
Didn't score back in the first with the bases loaded. Very important to score some runs here.
Oh, 1. Effort takes inside. One. This one pulled on the right side, base hit. Pujols will come in to score. Ibar being waved in. He will score. Perez ends up in third. It's a 2 RBI single for Navarro, and the Angels get on the board.
Well, 2 very good swings from Efren. One a line drive to left, and this hard hit ground ball in the hole between first and second. And that ground ball up the middle, the harmless ground ball up the middle, the McHugh knocked down. Comes back to haunt. Little change up. stayed back on the well, got the head of the bat, through the hole for a second hit. Pujols, and then Ibar scoring.
5 RBIs in the season now for Efren. Still 2 outs. Runners at the corners. Here's Johnny Giavatello. He struck out twice. Breaking ball low. Two balls, no strikes. Took the Halos a while to get on the board. Took 2 opportunities with the bases loaded to finally do that. Navarro with a couple of hits tonight. Angels last night were 0 for 6 with men in scoring position, yet still won 4-3. 2 home runs and a well-placed safety squeeze by Dan Robertson. One. Outfield very shallow for Houston. We saw that quite a bit yesterday, regardless of who the batter was. Rasmus, Springer, and Santana from left to right. All 3 can go get it.
Pretty good indication that as an outfielder, you're very comfortable going back on the baseball.
Chopper back up the middle. Correa to his left has it. Off balance throw. Carter's got it. And the inning comes to an end. The Angels do get on the board, courtesy of Efren Navarro's single. We head to the 5th. Houston leading at 7-2.
Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimate of 31 miles per gallon. Visit Jeep.com for more information. By AT&T U-verse, more live channels on the go than cable. And by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more.
Top of the 5th inning here at Angel Stadium. 7-2. Houston leads it. Efren Navarro getting the Angels on the board. Cam Bedrosian back out on the mound to face Carter, Santana, and Valbuena. No balls of a strike on the Astros first baseman. 0 for 1. Hit a fly ball to center field. The first inning was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Fifteen hits combined between these two teams through 4 innings. Astros with 8, Angels with 7. 2 have left the building for Houston, though. Correa 3-run shot. That was in the 2nd inning. Valbuena with a solo shot leading off the fourth.
Gray even showing that good range he has at shortstop to finish off that last inning.
Just out a piece of it, keeps his at-bat alive, and it's still 1-2. Oakland ended up beating Texas 8-6. Game in Arlington. Seattle leading Kansas City 6-0. That game's the bottom of the fifth up at Safeco. Two.
Yeah, Oakland's starting to play a little bit better baseball. They have won 3 in a row.
Toronto lost 4-3 to the Rays. Full count now. Baltimore over Boston 6-4. Tigers over Cleveland 7-3. The White Sox over the Twins 6-2. Here it's 7-2 Houston. That is down low and a walk. The Trojan got ahead of the count 0-2 and ends up walking the leadoff man. Brings up Santana. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by Authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Mike Scioscia wondering where that last pitch was. Seemed to be a little bit low. There's Domingo Santana. Ripped by Santana.
He's extremely aggressive.
Yeah.
First pitch.
I mentioned last night that he was originally in the Phillies system, signed as a 16-year-old. Highly touted prospect that was part of the package for Hunter Pence. Now some would say, and have said, that Santana was included in that deal as a quote-unquote clerical mistake. Ruben Amaro said that was not the case. But he was on one of the lists. But I'm sure Philadelphia would love to have him starting in the outfield.
No question, a young player with that type of talent and power, especially in that ballpark. Citizen Bank Park in Philly. Well, not that Houston, Minute Maid Park's not a hitter's yard either.
Yeah. Carter over at first base. 1-2, got him. One down.
That was a product of a hitter looking for a breaking ball. The pitch before dismissed out of the zone. Then he paints a 95-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner.
One out, one on, and here is Luis Valbuena. A couple of hits tonight with a single and a home run. Home run going out to right center field. Does not get cheated. Then again, that's the motto for the Houston Astros this year. They just don't get cheated offensively. They're up there hacking.
Well, that's the best opportunity to be able to square up a mistake early. Get a fastball. Percentages always are a first pitch fastball.
That is hit high and deep to right field. This has got home run distance, and that is gone. Cole goes over the wall. It's a two-run blast for Valbuena. That's 9-2 Houston. Hopefully Calhoun is all right. 19th home run of the season for Luis Valbuena.
3-hit performance. 2 home runs. 3 RBI. 3 runs scored. Valbuena. Fastball inner half of the plate. Hooks that right down the right field line. Cole gave it a shot. Too deep in that stands.
So the Angels give those 2 runs back, and it's back to a 7-run deficit. Hank Coger back over to the left side. Bedrosian on the mound. Hank 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. Astros now with 107 home runs on the year. The Angels have been on a pretty good home run pace of late. But just to kind of put it into perspective, the Angels just with 74 home runs. That's 5th in the American League. That is pulled and past Giavotella, beats the shift.
You know, one thing about this Astro lineup, they can hit a fastball and they will hit mistakes. Each year they have improved each year since 2011 as far as the rankings in MLB as far as home runs. Now 1st in MLB as far as the big fly this year, 4th last year.
Last year led by Chris Carter's 37 home runs. This year it's Luis Valbuena. Has 19. 2 tonight. Springer 0 for 2. Fly ball left, to strike out, a walk. He's also scored a run. One ball and strike. Hank always keeping everything loose, isn't he?
He's a fun guy, there's no question.
And one of the best impersonators of Albert's run.
Oh, it's great.
2-1. This is lifted in the air, playable. Shallow right field. Giavotella going out. 2 outs. Well, here's Correa. This is his 4th plate appearance. We're in the 5th inning. Singled and scored in the 1st. A 3-run blast off Wilson in the 2nd. And then a double and a run scored in the 4th. Third 3-hit game of his brief big league career. Takes outside. Breaking ball in there. Good one from Cam.
One thing Cam's going to have to do eventually, even though he's got a good curveball, that's a change of speed at 79. Makes him more of a changeup. Go along with his power fastball. No, he has one. He's got to use it more.
The straight change?
Yes. That way you have some variation in speeds. His changeup will probably be around that, I've seen around 81 to 83 range to go along with his curveball 78, 79, and then his power fastball 93, 96.
Chopper to short. Ibar will go the short way. They force out Conger for the 3rd out. And the Astros are down here in the 5th, although Valbuena tacks on 2 more. Houston leads at 9-2.
shot by Giancarlo Stanton. Take a look at this big fly from Stanton. Martinez hangs a slider. And this baseball's hit a long way. A long, long way. 484-foot shot. Hit speed off the bat. 117 miles an hour. 26 home runs. Wow.
That got out in a hurry.
That baseball was screaming for a long ways.
That wasn't the pitcher that gave it up?
It was the baseball's fault. Wow. The pride of Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks. Stanton.
9-2 Houston here in the fifth inning. Cal HOU Trout at Pujols for the Angels. Cole 1 for 2, a single and a fly ball to center. No real issues for Colin McHugh tonight. Gave up the 2 RBI single to Efron with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the fourth. But aside from that, he's been pretty good. 4 strikeouts, 1 intentional walk. 1-2 now. McHugh's given up 7 hits. Just 1 extra base hit, and that was a double to Trout in the first. Two balls and 2 strikes. Tomorrow it's a 12:35 start. A business person special. Lance McCullers going up against Matt Shoemaker. McCullers, we have yet to see him.
With the highlights,
real deal Holyfield.
He throws some serious gas. Mid-90s.
Cole hits one out to center field. It's playable for Springer. Wrigley Field, little pop up in the foul territory. Watch this. And the baby's still feeding.
No stress on that play either.
No, they did call fan interference. Can't reach out into the field to play. But he didn't get ejected. That's a great play.
Yeah. But in Baltimore, the old announcer there, give that fan a contract with a play like that. Dodgers end up losing that game in extra innings to the Chicago Cubs. 1-0. With the Giants winning right now in San Francisco, division will be tied up.
Trout goes down swinging. His second out.
The Hyundai key for this game. Albert Pujols, the crusher, walked intentionally to load the bases back in the first inning, and then a base hit. Second at bat. Unbelievable numbers. Last 24 games, 15 home runs, 30 RBI, and only 4 punchouts.
Reaching for this one, little dribbler on the left side. Albert sniffing a base hit, gets thrown out by Valbuena. He went into Bobby Abreu overdrive. Valbuena with a nice play. The Angels go down in order. Still 9-2 Houston.
Correa has had himself a monster game. First at bat, single, scored a run. Second at bat, 2 on, 3-run home run, and then followed up with a double. With 3 hits in the game, 3 runs scored. Just a triple away from the cycle for the youngster.
At 9-2 here in the 6th inning. And Carlos Correa, third player since 1900 to hit 4 home runs as a shortstop in his first 15 career games. The other two, 1964, Bert Campaneris.
Bert Campaneris.
Bert Campaneris.
Wow.
And the other, none other than Jeff Blum in 1999. Blummer, the television analyst for the Houston Astros, working next to us.
Good guy.
Yeah, with Alan Ashby. How about that? Fernando Salas takes over. There's Blummer.
There he is.
There he is. Telestrator works.
Yeah, it is.
Campy, Correa, and Blummer. All good guys.
Oh, yeah.
Now Dubé, Gaddis, and Rasmus here in the 6th inning. Salas taking over for Campodrosian. Went an inning and 2/3. Gave up 2 runs. 2 hits. 1 was a home run. Struck out 2 and walked 1. Altuve 0 for 2. A strikeout, a ground down, an intentional walk. That is pulled to left. Lead off single for Jose Altuve. Salas should be well rested, although he did make 2 appearances in the Oakland series. He threw a total of 2 pitches. 1 Friday for the win and 1 Saturday to end the inning.
We were thinking he had a shot at a win that game, too.
So he was unavailable on Sunday and Monday.
Too much work.
Too much work.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Gaddis, a 1 for 2 game with a couple of runs batted in, a double in the first, a sac fly in the 4th. This is fouled back. 0-1 count. Fernandez just has not been as consistent as we saw him through 2014. Whether it's velocity and or command, it's been an issue. Huge foul.
Tell you what, by the end of the game, the Astro hitters have to really go down and ice down after the swings they take. Every one of them. It's amazing.
That's a change up the Salas features. Altuve over at first with a short lead. Gaddis takes outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fernando, of course, coming over prior to last season with David Freese, St. Louis Cardinals. The Borges Grichuk trade. Two.
St. Louis, this continues to win. Even when they get guys hurt. Even though Stanton hit a ball 484-foot shot against the Cardinals, they still won that game 4-3 today. 46 in 24. Without your ace of your staff, without your first baseman.
There's out number 1. Pittsburgh won, so St. Louis keeps a 6-game lead. Take a look at the hot upcoming schedule. One more, as we mentioned, a 12:35 start tomorrow afternoon. The Angels with the off day on Thursday, and then they will welcome in the Seattle Mariners for a 3-game series beginning on Friday night. Christmas in June, Friday night.
I know you're excited.
Oh, looking forward to some eggnog. Rasmus hits one out toward right center field. Trout thought about laying out for it. Plays it on a hop. Altuve will go to third. He's in there safely.
That's some solid base running by Altuve. No, that's a long throw for a center fielder when you're trying to cut off that baseball right center field. Never hesitated. This speed gets to third base. Picked it up, looked exactly where the baseball was. And turns on the afterburner, slides into third.
12th hit of the night for Houston. Runners at the corners with one down.
And if you're Chris Carter, you like that. That's an opportunity for an RBI for him.
Most hits the Astros have had this year. 17. That was against the Padres back in late April. C.J. Wilson got the start, gave up 7 runs and 3 1/3 on 8 hits, 2 home runs. Cam Bedrosian 2 runs in an inning at 2/3. Salas trying to keep it a 7-run deficit. It's 9-2 here in the 6th. Tied him up. Carter 0 for 1. Fly ball to center the first, hit by a pitch in the third, walked it, scored the 5th. Now Altuve standing at third and Rasmus at first. Off the plate. Fifteen pitches thrown by Salas. 9 strikes, 6 balls. And he tied him up. Down he goes. 2 outs. Second strikeout for Fernando.
Good sequence, especially because early in that count he threw a changeup in. This time he throws a 91-mile-an-hour fastball to get a swing and miss. Located well, framed well. Exactly where Carlos Perez set up the target. Fernando Salas hits the spot, gets a punch out.
Domingo Santana 0 for 3. It's jammed here. A little flare out to right field. Giavitello racing out there, dives, and he can't get it. It falls in. Altuve scores. Rasmus over to third. The ball gets away from Ibar. Rasmus will come in to score. And it's 11-2 Houston. There'll be an error on the play. It's an RBI single for Santana.
Well-placed flare into the outfield. Good effort for Giavitello. Cole Calhoun trying to get Santana at second. This ball gets away from Eric Ibar. Rasmus to score the 11th run.
Figure Calhoun to get charged with his 3rd error of the season. Astros on top 11-2. Here's Valbuena's had a 3-hit game with a single and 2 home runs. Takes inside.
For career 2 home run games, 3rd this year.
This one's out toward left field. Navarro back a couple of steps. And there is the third out. Houston tacks on a couple of more. 11-2 coming up on Angels Baseball. It's an all-new Gooby Tuesday. What's your favorite sports movie? Find out what some Angels think next.
Time favorite sports movie?
It's got to be Field of Dreams. I think Field of Dreams is Kevin Costner playing catch with his dad at the end of the movie. It says it all.
Probably Major League. Major League One. It's hilarious. It's classic, and always enjoy watching it.
Definitely Caddyshack.
Yeah. Favorite character on there?
Character. I mean, got to be the Groundhog. Yeah. You're right? No, I mean, Bill Murray for sure. But the Groundhog messes with him. It's the best.
I'll tell you what, I love all three of their calls. And I love all those movies, but for me, I love Miracle. I love that movie, and I love Rocky for my two favorite ones. It's difficult for me not to go with Rocky, being grown up in the Philadelphia area, so I got to go with Rocky. What about you, Victor?
I'm going to go with Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck when he went to Japan to play baseball. No?
I like the call.
No? How about The Slugger's Wife? Oh, how tired was that movie? That guy would play. He was an Atlanta Brave outfielder or something.
I know you love For the Love of the Game. I just knew you were going to say that. I had that feeling.
No. Natural. The Natural for me is one of my all-time. That Field of Dreams.
Yeah, I love Field of Dreams myself.
Colin McHugh back to work. Freeze, Ibar, and Joyce here in the 6th inning. This is bouncing back up the middle, and it's a leadoff single here to start the 6th. So David 1 for 3. And it'll bring up Eric Ibar. Eric Ibar 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored to the 4th. Did Bernie Mac have a baseball movie? Mr. 3000?
Mr. 3000, right. Yeah. Happy Gilmore, too.
Yeah. Two balls and a strike on Ibar. Eric was charged with the error that allowed that second run to score in the 6th inning. I think that might change. It's a tough error on Eric. The throw coming in, you have to deal with the base runner. Maybe even hit the base runner.
Yeah, that's a tough error on Eric Ibar.
This one pulled foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A couple of good ones on Twitter too. Hoosiers Rudy.
Great.
I know you're a big Rudy
Oh,
guy.
I love that movie. Love that movie. Rudy.
Breaking ball low. Full count. Joyce on deck. Here's the 3-2. Ibar fouls it back. Being told by the guys in the truck that the chant for Rudy for that movie was recorded right here in this stadium.
Really?
Yeah. Hope I didn't ruin it for you, did I?
Good night.
It was used, recorded before a game. Ibar skies went out to shallow left center. Springer and Rasmus, and Springer taking charge. One down.
Well, now you're going to tell me Rocky and Apollo Creed, that wasn't a real fight?
No.
What?
None of the 16 Rockies are real. Is that how many there are now? Incarnations. Or iterations. No.
And Mr. T was superb in Rocky 3.
Superb.
Yes.
Matt Joyce 0 for 2 with a ground down and a strikeout. Oh, man, superb. No balls and a strikeout, Joyce. .42, another good movie. A lot of
real
folks,
good movie.
Folks are now chiming in on Twitter. Cinderella Man. That was the boxing movie, right?
Raging Bull. Slap Shot.
Great movie.
Yes.
Absolutely great movie.
I'm not so sold on Slap Shot 2, but Slap Shot was real good.
Anything
Nor
with the number-
Caddyshack 2 wasn't one of the best.
Anything with a number 2 or 3 usually pales in comparison. Bouncer foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sandlot.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah. Brian Song. Oh. I don't think you're done.
I got to take a timeout now.
Would you like a napkin?
Yeah. Just don't play the music and then I'm gone.
1-2. This is fouled off the left. Blades of Glory with Will Ferrell. Oh, man.
That was outstanding acting in that movie.
So, man, really, it's there's plenty to choose from.
No, there's no question. Good answers by the guys, though.
Yeah.
Caddyshack. And there was no hesitation at all from Houston Street when he went to Field of Dreams right away.
Count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Misplayed by a fan.
Pulled to the right side, off the glove of Carter. Altuve fires to Correa, and they force out Freeze for the second out.
Amazing play by Altuve and the awareness to be able to field that ball and look right to second base. Correa to be there to cover the base when this ball's off the glove. Chris Carter reacted well and a perfect throw to second base to get the force out.
The old 3-4-6 put out at second. 2 down, and here's Carlos Perez is 1 for 2. No balls and a strike. Carlos with a single in the 4th inning. McHugh's next pitch will be his 90th. I know you're a big Rocky guy.
Yes.
Jeremy says that the best sports movie is the 4-minute montage of Rocky training to Hearts on Fire from Rocky 4. You remember that?
Yes, I do. Drago, his opponent.
Oh, man. This one out to left field, not very deep. Rasmus comes in. And the Angels are done here in the 6th inning. We appreciate the Twitter responses. Favorite sports movie. We will head to the 7th. 11-2. Astros lead it. Enjoy better. Call 1-855-1-TWC. By Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. By Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast, free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai, great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Top of the 7th inning, it's 11-2. And a number of changes, and we'll start on the mound with Cesar Ramos taking over for Fernando Salas. 29th game, a 2-0 record, a 2.21 ERA. He will pitch to 9-1-2 Conger, Springer, and Correa. At least those are the scheduled batters for the Astros. And the changes for the Angels are as such. We'll start in center. Dan Robertson in for Mike Trout in center field. Alfredo Martes in right field now for Cole Calhoun. In the infield, we've got a new left side. Kyle Kubica at third. Taylor Featherston at shortstop. And a new first baseman. That's Chris Iannetta taking over for Albert Pujols. It's like a spring training game. Conger pulls this one to Kyle Kubica. Pitch, one out to start the 7th.
You know, usually we'll say as soon as that first baseball is put in play, it's by the guy who came in, but there's a number of new defenders out there, so it's a pretty good option to find as a hitter. It's made a nice play on that one.
That error on Ibar did get changed to Cole. The 6th inning. Allow that second run to score. Cole's third error. George Springer looks at a strike. Salas, by the way, went 1 inning. Gave up 3 hits, struck out 2. Didn't walk anybody, allowed 2 runs. Should be 1 earned. If I'm not mistaken here. 2 runs, 1 earned because of that error. Springer 0 for 3, a fly to left, a strikeout, a walk, and a pop-up. Ball on 2 strikes. 11 runs, 13 hits, 6 left on for the Astros. 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, 6 left on for the Angels. Springer hits one to short. Taylor Featherston has it. Ursaneta with a big stretch, able to keep the foot on the bag. 2 outs. That'll bring up Carlos Correa. He's looking for a triple to complete the cycle. Mentioned Mel Ott, the youngest. That was for the Giants back in 29. The youngest in the American League is Mike Trout. 2013 against the Seattle Mariners, and it was Lucas Litke, the lefty, that gave up the home run, which is what Trout needed late in that game to pick up the cycle. No balls and a strike. Correa with a single in the first, a 3-run home run in the second, double in the fourth, and the fielder's choice in the fifth. So 3 for 4 game. Chase the off-speed pitch. No balls and 2 strikes.
71-mile-an-hour curveball. You know, you're thinking about this moment for Correa, looking for a pitch to drive for that triple. He certainly has the speed to try to leg that out.
Called strike 3. Down goes Correa. 1-2-3 inning for Rasmus. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's all Astros so far. The Midsummer Classic with home field advantage for the World Series on the line. Our coverage of the 2015 MLB All-Star Game begins July 14th at 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Serious talent going to be in that game. I want to see a lot more runs scored. Everyone was talking about the need for more runs being scored. Well, there's certainly been some big flies hit. Saw the one by Stanton. Albert Pujols with 23 home runs leading the American League. Stanton with 26, leading the National League.
After Navarro leading things off, he's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles, 2 runs batted in. .93 pitches for Colin McHugh. 62 have been strikes. 5 punch outs, 1 walk, and that was an intentional walk to Pujols in the first. One and 2. Will be followed by Johnny Giavotella and then Taylor Featherson. New second baseman for the Astros, Marwin Gonzalez. So for Jose Altuve. Preston Tucker's in left field. He was out there last inning.
Playing extremely shallow left field.
Efron hits one out to center. Springer with a long run as he plays a shallow center field, tracks it down. 1 down. Folks, the Angels welcome in the New York Yankees to the Big A for a 3-game set beginning on Monday at 7:05. You can purchase your tickets here at the stadium box office or do so online.
Should be another solid series there, especially the way the Yankees have been swinging the bat. Giving up their fair share of runs of late, though. Pineda had a tough time yesterday. CC Sabathia today.
Giavotella looks at a strike. Johnny 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Halos with 8 hits in this ball game. They had 4 in the 4th inning. Scored their 2 runs. That's it. Out to right, Santana back. 2 outs. Credit Colin McHugh tonight. A guy that came in with an ERA over 5, and we talked about his numbers early on, where right-handers hit up to a .306 batting average this year, a big jump compared to last year. He is came out through strikes early, established the breaking ball very early, both the slider and the curveball.
I really think the key to this game, I know they've had a great offensive game, but his ground ball double play against David Freese was the turning point with the bases loaded in the first.
Yeah, they intentionally walked Albert for
made
that.
a very good pitch against Freese.
7 in the books. It's all Houston tonight.
top of the 8th inning. I'm Patrick O'Neill. Some fans behind me heading home, I imagine, just so they could get to the television and check out Angels Live postgame with Jose Mota. You never know what Jose is going to say after a tough night like this. He may be really tough on the team. This Houston Astros team, with all these home runs, 3 tonight, only once before in their history have they led all of baseball in home runs. That was back in 2000. And Twitter, a bit of buzz about this team. Hashtag Crush City, and lots of this just in. Carlos Correa is good. In fact, he is pretty good. But an opportunity, guys, Victor and Mark, to win the series, assuming they don't win tonight, tomorrow at 12:30.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's one of those games, Patrick, that we might just let you do the final 2 innings here.
You're good. You're good.
You can do it from the hats.
No, it's all right.
One hopper to Taylor Featherston. Good arm. Throws out Marwin Gonzalez for the first out here in the 8th. Terrific play by Taylor.
Well, you can see how far he had to throw that baseball, too, and on the line over the Chris Iannetta. It's that good range that Featherston has. And this baseball goes out to the outfield grass, spin around, and a perfect throw to first base.
Gonzalez had a nice game yesterday with a walk, a single, and a double as a starting third baseman.
What a throw. Spin move, got himself in good throwing position, to drive off that back leg, and a perfect throw to first base.
Gaddis rips one out to left center field. Robertson got a good jump on it. 2 outs.
A good read off the bat by Robertson. Tracked that one down. That was hit well by Gaddis.
Here's Preston Tucker for his first plate appearance. Got into the game last night, ended up with 2 plate appearances, went 0 for 2. Colin McHugh has worked 7 strong tonight. One ball, 1 strike. McHugh's longest outing of the season, 7 1/3. That was right here on May 7th against the Angels. Allowed 2 runs in that one on 5 hits, struck out 7 and walked 1. Very similar line tonight.
Good break of ball from Ramos.
Many in the crowd have started to make their way home. 41,208 tonight on Hat Night, Beach Hat Night. Tucker fouling this one. Count remains at 1 and 2. C.J. Wilson gave up 7 runs in his shortest outing of the season, lasting just 3 1/3. Cam Bedrosian gave up 2 runs in an inning and 2/3. Salas 2 runs, 1 earned. His 1 inning, and now Ramos has faced 5. He's retired all 5. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two. Foul back. Seattle ended up finishing off Kansas City 7-0. Mike Montgomery with a complete game shutout.
Former big prospect with the Royals. What was he in that trade for James Shields?
Full count. Chris Carter on deck. 2 outs here in the 8th. Payoff on the way. Tucker reaches for this one. Flips it out to left. 6 up, 6 down for Cesar Ramos. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Marte, Robertson, and Kapitsa for the Angels. Down 11-2. Q back out for another inning of action. He'll face Alfredo Marte, Dan Robertson, and Kyle Kapitsa for the Angels here in the 8th. Marte last night served as the Angels DH. Ended up going 0 for 1 by pitch. Drew a walk. Previous time in the big leagues, last couple of seasons with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Still pitching even though he's got a significant lead. 2-0 count. There was slider.
103 pitches. Season high is 111. Dribble up the third base line. That might stay fair, and it will. That's an infield base hit.
Yeah, we know this field very well. There's no way that baseball is going to roll foul. Gets to that dirt, slow roller. Stayed on that dirt, is checked around by that grass, but it's always going to roll back into play. Infield hit for Marte. Looks like a line drive.
The old swinging bunt. Dan Robertson gets an opportunity here with a man on, nobody out. Check the swing for ball 1. Robertson last night 1 for 4. Picked up the RBI. That safety squeeze.
Did everything well in that one, forcing Chris Carter to the field instead of the pitcher.
2 balls and no strikes. Lance McCullers against Matt Shoemaker tomorrow. 12:35 first pitch. Just live will be on the air at noon. Robertson, skies went out to shallow center. Springer comes in. Arte was on the move, so he will head back to first. 1 down. Shoot. Had a rough go this year. The old sophomore season has not treated him well.
And he still has shown some signs to be able to get back to where he was last year. But when he ever seems to make a mistake upstairs, gets hit, stays downstairs with all his pitches, very effective.
Kyle Kibitz for his first plate appearance. He lines one out the left. Tucker comes in. 2 outs.
I think the one thing you might see from Shoemaker early on is to be able to establish that fastball in or even off the plate in. It'll be important for him tomorrow to set up a split finger fastball.
Chris Iannetta down. Took over at first base. First game there since 2011 with the Rocks. Batting in Eric Ivar's spot. One ball, 2 strikes.
Close to the same area, just fouled the last one off with Chris Iannetta.
It's the longest outings from McHugh since September 9th of last year in a game against Seattle. And he went 8 innings. Way outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Especially with this pitch count, more than likely his last inning, if not last batter here, if Chris can get on base.
Full count. Roberto Hernandez getting ready. The artist formerly known as Fausto Carmona. 3-2. Iannetta goes down swinging. The Angels are down here in the 8th. We'll head to the 9th. 11-2 Astros. 15 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at Angels.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. You can vote up to 35 times at Angels.com. Jose Alvarez on the mound, taking over for Cesar Ramos. Cesar went 2 innings, 6 up, 6 down. Nice outing for Ramos. Colin McHugh done after 114 pitches, 8 innings, 9 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, and 1 walk. That walk was an intentional one to Pujols.
Yeah, very impressive outing.
Alvarez pitching in his 25th game, 1-1 and a 3.68 ERA. He'll face Carter, Santana, and Valbuena, barring any pinch hitters. First one outside. Chris Carter tonight is 0 for 2. First action for Alvarez in this series. Last pitched in Friday's game, the 12-7 win against Oakland, went an inning and 2/3 and down. Alvarez swinging a miss. 2-2.
Good changeup there from Alvarez. And that's the thing against Carter. You have to mix and match. You don't have to stay with that hard fastball against him. You can get a fastball by him when he's starting to look off speed.
And that is out to left field. Chasing effort, Navarro back, it's over his head. One hops over the fence, and it's a double for Chris Carter. Did that not sound like it broke his bat?
It definitely sounded like it broke his bat. It's a fastball in. When he's looking at his hand, it looked like it's definitely. He's looking at the bat as if he broke it.
10th double of the year.
Just a little bit of splinter from the bat off there when he swung through the baseball.
Strong man.
And he loves the fastball, and he got one.
And now Alvarez and Perez are going to talk things over with the man at second. This is past Featherston into left field. Carter will advance to third. It's a single for Santana. His second hit of the night. Nobody out here in the ninth inning. 2 on for Valbuena. 15 hits allowed tonight to Houston. Topper off the plate.
19 home runs, 35 RBI.
Multi-homer game. Last 3-homer game, El Caballo. Carlos Lee. Against your Phillies. This one's out to center. It's playable for Robertson. Carter's not going anywhere. 1 down. He was trying for it.
Well, there's no question. I'm not sure he's trying to leave the building every swing.
Hank Conger with a couple of hits tonight, going 2 for 4. A hit from each side of the plate. He will take a strike. Springer on deck, and then Correa. Correa is still needing a triple for a cycle. Should we get to that point. Carter standing at third base, Santana at first. Hank lines one out to center. Robertson will play it on a hop. A run will come in. It's 12-2. 3 hits allowed by Alvarez here in the ninth.
And Conger with his 3rd hit of the game.
Hank picks up his 11th run batted in. And here's Springer. 0 for 4.
So far, the Angels have pitched him well. 0 for 8 in this series.
Good pitch down and in. The ball's 2 strikes. Reaching for this one. Kubica plays a short hop, can't come up with it. Infield base hit for Springer. They're loaded up for Correa.
Tough play for Kubica to come in, especially with the speed that Springer has.
Yeah, actually, they're calling that an error on Kubica. It's a bang play if he comes up with it cleanly to get Springer. So bases loaded for Carlos Correa. A 3 for 5 game. That ball's got to be a hit, don't you?
Yeah, it's a tough play. Slow roller, and then you have to have a perfect throw to be able to get Springer, who runs extremely well down the line.
Ground ball to short. Featherston bobbles the baseball. Fires to Giamatella. They get the 1 out. Another run scores, and it's 13-2. No error charge there. You can't assume a double play.
So he picks up another RBI.
Two outs now. It's a 4 RBI night for Correa. And here comes Marwin Gonzalez. Second plate appearance for him. He grounded out in the 8th. 7th man to bat here in the 9th inning. Eight-game hitting streak for Gonzalez. He was robbed on in the 8th inning plate appearance on the play by Featherston going to his left. Ball and 2 strikes. 13 runs, 16 hits, and 6 left on for Houston. 2 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. 7 left on for the Angels. 1-2 on the way. Down and in. Not as sharp an outing for Alvarez as we've seen him this year. Been all over the map as far as the strike zone. 3 hits allowed here in the ninth. Full count. Houston ends up winning this one. They will pick up a game on Texas, who lost earlier tonight to Oakland. They extend their lead to 4 games over the Rangers. This is pulled foul. And the Angels would give back the game they picked up last night. The Angels would find themselves 5.5 back going into tomorrow afternoon's finale.
A.J. Hinch has done a very good job with this club. He's handled the bullpen very well. Offense has been dynamic with the home run ball.
Correa will take off on the pitch once again. Full count. Gaddis on deck. Halos in the bottom of the ninth inning, of the bottom third due up. .23 pitches thrown by Alvarez. Here comes the 24th, and it is ball 4. So they're loaded up for Evan Gaddis. Gaddis doubled home a run in the first inning. 1 for 4 tonight. Also had a sac fly in the fourth. No place to put him. 1-0. And that is out to shallow left. Featherston going out. They put it away. Astros leave them loaded, but they do tack on 2 more. We head to the bottom of the ninth inning, 13-2 Houston. Roberto Hernandez takes over on the mound for the Astros. Colin McHugh won 8 innings tonight. Gave up 2 runs, both earned on 9 hits, 6 strikeouts, and a walk, 1 intentional walk. And now it's Hernandez here to get some work. He's 2-5 with a 4.68 ERA. His 14th game, also has 11 starts under his belt. He is take the entire 2 minutes and 25 seconds to get ready. Bert Hernandez never a quick worker, even as a starter when he first came up with Cleveland. And he will face Matt Joyce, Carlos Perez, and Efrain Navarro. At least those are the scheduled 3 batters for the Angels. Such emptied the bench in the 7th inning, taking out all the starters. The game was getting out of hand. Joyce tonight 0 for 3. Good on-speed pitch, and it's no balls, 2 strikes. Back at it again tomorrow, noon. Angels Live pregame show. The 12:35 first pitch for the finale of this 3-game set. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Scorer holds. C.J. Wilson will take the loss, his 6th of the year. We'll go to 5 and 6. McHugh will pick up his 8th win. Joyce breaks his bat, lifts one out to shallow right. 1 down. Carlos 1 for 3 with a single in the 4th. And just because there's a youngster on the mound tomorrow afternoon doesn't mean it's a cakewalk. Lance McCullers, a highly talented prospect with great stuff.
Yeah, opponents are hitting 189 against him. And McCullers' fastball is 92 to 97.
Off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Shallow center field. Springer coming in. Calls everybody off. 2 outs. So Efrain Navarro will come to the plate. He's 2 for 3 tonight. A couple of RBIs.
Even his last out, he hit extremely well to center field.
It's the 53rd game against the Astros for the Angels, and it's a 3-hit game for Navarro. The Angels have never allowed more than 9 runs against the Astros. Giving up 13 tonight.
And they can hit that big fly when you make a mistake.
Yeah.
They capitalize. Also have good team speed too, so they can create runs when they're on the bases. Saw some good base running by Altuve. Correa also.
Johnny Givitello for 4. He pulls this one down the left field line. Tucker over to try to cut it off, but he can't. Goes up against the wall. Navarro is going to be waved in. And it's 13 to 3. Givitello with the RBI double, his first hit of the series.
Turned on that one. 11 doubles. 6 RBI now in the season. Again, it's an elevated fastball. Turns on it right down the left field line.
Featherston 0 for 1 in a fly ball to right in his 7th inning plate appearance. Two balls in a strike. Taylor's tonight 2 for 5 with men in scoring position. As you pointed out about an inning or so ago, the double play ball that Freese hit in the first inning. The Angels had Colin McHugh on the ropes. They walked Pujols to get to Freese with the bases loaded, 1 out. And on a 2-0 count, a slider and a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Now ball back toward the middle. Marvin Gonzalez has it. Houston takes game 2 by the final of 13-3.
And I'm sure Mike Scioscia's going to say this in the clubhouse. His thing he likes to say, you got to turn the page. One of the tough games. We give credit to Houston and Correa. What a game he had. Valbuena, what a game he had with 2 home runs also. And Hugh threw the ball very well. And you got to give the Astros credit here tonight. Let's move forward. You have a day game just a few hours from now. Deal with a guy with a good power fastball on the colors.
T.J. Wilson ends up taking the loss. He's 5-6 on the season. Colin McHugh 8-3 as he picks up the win. 13-3 the final. Houston wins it. Stick around. Angels live postgame is coming up next.